everybody.
Hi there.
Good evening.
Hi, Laura.
Hello. Surprise! Here's our special guest for this evening. We have the wonderful Johanna here. I'm wondering who else is going to jump on and join us tonight. Oh, we have
Jackie Belay.
Yeah, we have Jackie. Hi, Jackie. How are you today? Hi, Dishington family. So nice to have you here.
Ella Barrett. Nice to see you.
Ricky. Her name's Ricky. But
okay.
I don't know if you've met
Hi,
Ricky. Ricky's one of our beautiful MOPS mums. She's amazing and she just had a baby and we're so excited to cuddle that baby and just celebrate its arrival when we can all get back together. Hi, Danielle. Oh, love you, Danielle. Miss you and your beautiful smile.
Hi, Theresa.
So many wonderful people jumping on tonight. How's been your week so far?
Great.
Good?
Yeah.
Anything to report?
I've discovered, I can't remember if I shared this with Beth last week, I've discovered there's a webcam on the top of Mount Wellington and it refreshes, it takes photos over the top of the mountain and refreshes every 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, so you can literally go online and you can just search Mount Wellington webcam and it gives you new pictures every 5 minutes so you can watch the sunrise come up, you can
awesome.
See if there's snow on the mountain, it's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
really
really cool. Last night we had our first in-person Connect group again.
Wow,
Hi, Tanya.
how exciting.
So that was awesome. We went to Honey Badger. Who else is a Honey Badger fan?
I definitely am.
Or a dessert fan? You should put your dessert of choice in the comments. Catherine Smith got this huge bowl of like Nutella pancakes. It was amazing. But I was so excited to be back with all of my Connect girls again. So that was really fun to be in the flesh. But hi, Alyssa.
Alyssa.
So nice to have you with us. Miss you and your whole family. Hi, beautiful Beth. So we might get started. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
So a big welcome if you're joining us online tonight. My name is Laura and this is my dear friend Johanna. And we're introducing a new segment tonight called Story of Me. And this is going to be happening on alternate Thursdays to our communions, where we're going to invite different people who we know and love to come and share a bit about their journey. And it could be their journey of faith, their journey of overcoming something in their life. We call this in church land a testimony, which is basically just testifying to Jesus working in our life. And so I hope that wherever you find yourself today, you can glean something from Johanna's story. It might bring hope for your own journey today and wherever you find yourself. So enjoy. Take us away.
Okay. All right. So something that you guys may not know about me is that I grew up in Cygnet, which is Cygnet is actually an hour and a bit south of Hobart. So if you imagine down through Huon Valley, and it's most widely known for the Cygnet Folk Festival. Suffice it to say, we were never allowed in town when the folk festival was on. You know, just not on. But I actually grew up 15 minutes out the other side of Cygnet, so close to a place called Eggs and Bacon Bay. I grew up in Abels Bay. And every time I've told this story up till now, I've told people that we only had one channel of TV down in Abels Bay, which was ABC. And every time I've told this story, I've said that we were allowed to watch an hour of TV a day, but I've recently discovered that's not true. We were allowed an hour a week.
Holy moly. Yeah.
So something that you may not have known about me, hence why I'm such a good reader. And then on very special occasions, my dad worked for Telstra for a while there. He was a Telstra linesman. And he'd actually borrow the VCR player from work on very special occasions. So the first movie I remember watching as a family was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Great movie.
Yeah. Good memories.
Good.
So I also grew up Catholic, which is something that you guys may not know about me either. I actually grew up a really special breed of Catholic.
Right.
My parents were part of what's called the Charismatic Renewal. Which essentially means that the Charismatic Renewal was almost really like far end kind of happy clappy Christian, very Pentecostal. And so for me, that meant that as a kid, we were growing up with two extremes of church happening. You know, on one hand, we've got our normal Catholic services that we're going to, and on the other hand, we've got this Pentecostal movement that my parents were really heavily involved with. And so for me, the God that I knew as a child was really extreme. You know, both ends, it was all or nothing. And I feel like I can actually relate to that because, as you know, I'm a very all or nothing person. But yeah, on one hand, it was like God was actually quite scary. And on the other hand, I was going, well, you know, who actually is this God? So I actually just want to just acknowledge that I feel like Catholics have a bad rap in general.
Yeah.
It might be a bit controversial, but I genuinely believe that God actually knows the hearts that are His,
Yes.
and that in every church there are hearts that He knows as His own and hearts that He doesn't yet. And so I actually believe it's a question that we all have to answer. The issue for me actually isn't so much which church or which denomination. It's actually, am I His?
Yeah.
The rest is just a journey with each one of us personally, and God will sort that out with us over time. Just want to encourage us that it's not about belonging to a church or a denomination, but belonging to Jesus.
Yeah.
So long story short, I decided as a teenager that I didn't want church. I know what that is, and I don't want it. And I think so often when we grow up in a conservative environment, we actually end up learning about a relationship with the rules rather than a relationship with love.
Yeah.
And the God that I grew up with was very much a God that wanted to control me, and I rebelled against that. But the God that I've come to know, honestly, is much less interested in control. He's interested in genuine invitation, and that's on both sides.
Really good.
So it's not just Him inviting me into something, it's actually the ability for me to invite Him into something as well. He's constantly inviting me into what He's doing. And I actually have the ability then to respond and can also invite Him in, just like a genuine relationship.
Great.
So some of you will know a little bit more of my story from the last few years, but those of you that don't, I actually found myself at probably the lowest I've ever been. Okay, but I want to share with you a couple of things that God has actually shown me out of that time.
Yeah.
One of the things that He showed me when I was right at the bottom was this image of a valley and almost like you've got a crevice on two sides. You know, you're walking through this impenetrable kind of rock, and it just seems to tower above you. And He spoke this thing to me that said, the deeper the valley, the higher the waterfall. And in my mind, he took me to the top of that crevice, and showed me the waterfall that's one day going to come over the other side.
That's awesome.
And just showed me that out of that time, as I was walking through that, actually what He was doing, He was carving into that landscape,
Right.
you know, this deep valley that in time is actually going to become a beautiful waterfall.
I love that.
And just the deeper, the way that everything was so deep and so dark, and just everything that He brought me through in that time, to know that actually there's beauty on the other side.
Beautiful.
Was really encouraging for me. And so I've learnt that God actually has a way of choosing and using the very things that we think He can't or won't use. Another thing that I really had to face in myself in that time was just these darkest parts of me that I didn't want to show Him, and I didn't want to show anyone. I didn't even want to face them in myself. It was too real and too scary. I was afraid to look at them. And God spoke to me one day, hey, I actually want you to show me those things, because I need you to know that I love you in those places the most, because that's actually where you need love the most. That's where you actually need to be loved the most. And if you don't open those places up to me, then I can't love you in those places. And so that's been a real journey of trust on my part in this relationship with Him, in that invitation. To be able to open up those places that I'm the most afraid of, because they're the places in me that need the most love. And that journey that I've been on with Him has enabled me to then be able to open up that space for other people, I hope. So I'm still learning this too, but I genuinely hope that that's actually what is able to come out of me from that time. So I've learned to not worry so much about whether I'm doing the right thing for him or whether I have a right relationship with him or the rules or whatever, but not to be so worried about doing, but just to surrender to that invitation to be wholly loved and just to respond to that, because our actions will flow out of that. I think that's actually all I really want to share with you guys tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah.
I hope that wherever you found yourself today, you've been able to glean something from this story, or it's given you hope for when you've had to face a really challenging obstacle. Or indeed, if you aren't someone of faith and you're new to this journey, or you're just exploring and wanting to find out more, I really encourage you just to press in and just listen more as these stories come forth over the coming weeks, because I think it will give you a real glimpse of Jesus and how good he is.
Yes. Yeah. And I'd actually encourage you, I'd love to hear from you. Yeah. Anyone here would actually love to hear from you. If you'd like to, just message in, just hit, send a message. We'd love to hear your story.
Yeah.
We'd love to be able to walk with you if that's what you want.
Awesome.
Yeah. Can I pray for you guys?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So, God, for each invitation that you've been speaking to each one of us, we say yes. Help us to see you at work. Teach us who you really are. We want to know you. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us online tonight for our first Story of Me session. Next Thursday will be communion again, and then we'll have another story the following Thursday. But if you haven't caught up on any of our lives from the last week, there have been some brilliant ones, from Matt and Karen's Q&A last night to Kate and Beck on Tuesday, talking about I Can't Breathe and what's happening with racism throughout this planet at the moment. That was just brilliant. Jump online and have a look at that. You can access all of our videos on here, or you can go to our Spotify or our YouTube channel. Otherwise, you are so welcome to join us this Sunday with some very special surprise guests at 9:50 for a chat, 10 a.m. for online gathering. All the information will be here. Again, if you or your family need any support at this time, as Johanna said so beautifully, please send us a message. We have so many practical, emotional, spiritual ways we can care for you and look after you. Otherwise, have an awesome night. Will you tell everybody, please, Johanna?
Go love someone.
Bye.
Bless you guys.
See you.